Hi everyone, we're HUB5. From our original text Performing Publishing, Fragmentation, Networks, and Circulation by Lorenzo Salvio, we focused on the topic shadow library as duplication in the digital era, and especially on the phenomenon of the digital process may produce unconscious changes to the text. This article discusses visual forms and copyright issues in the information circulation in the online context. The writer cites two works that explore the impact of textual copying on content in the online environment. Stephanie Sajuko's Free Text, an open-source reading room, enable visitors to get illegal URLs from a wall covered with flyers and produce their own bootleg physical copy. This challenges the idea of digital copyright and argues that Creative Commons is the new normal of the future. Another work mentioned in the article is Martin Weke's COPY. Weke produced a physical book that appears empty at the human eye, while the text only exists when it is scanned or copied. He used the technique of void pantograph to make the text quality get better with every copy come true. The essay in the work is Copyright, Copyleft, and the Creative Anti-Commons, a tribute to the newest avatar Anonymous that explores open distribution, remix, and fluid authorship. Unlike popular belief of what social rules require us to do, these works take a critical approach and attitude to copyright infringement, arguing that the bootleg distribution of knowledge in digital context is necessarily the new normal.
The emergence of scanned books, e-books, and shadow libraries are closely connected to copyright issues. We follow the work to Anonymous article, Copyright, Copyleft, and the Creative Anti-Commons, which mentions that Dadaism rejects originality, arguing that giving individuals the right to own creative works prevents others from using and recreating their works. This prevented the free flow and flourishing of knowledge and information. Tristan Tzara, one of the founders and central figures of Dadaism, used paper cutouts to make poetry, reproducing the original text in an artistic form and encouraging audiences to engage in the process of rewriting text. Obviously, rewriting doesn't have to exist only in text. Anywhere is creative. In a similar vein, there is also a great deal of work related to the Dadaist viewpoint, as in the case of the Disney characters.
你还瞅什么呀？是我，你爹，滚！要不要进我的妙妙屋？我操，太好了，我们走。
Through these visual cues, the designer and best generalized ideas into the average viewer while also adding meaning to the initial person, much like the password protected nature of the internet. And this is why we are interested in this topic and have to research it in depth. The digital process may produce unconscious changes to the text.
Of course, we have coined some great research methods, such as organizing, cataloging, sorting, clogging, extract information, analyzing images, enlarge images, insulating elements, and we subdivided the information we collected before with visual axes that distribute the information from decreasing to increasing information. We learned from the original documentation of the installation work fitting that by creating the physical book from the digital file, the text was further modified, adding a layer of distance mistranslation, but perhaps also serving as an unintentional rewrite. We were introduced to the concept of weak image through the artist Hito Style, who writes the article in defense of the poor image, which led to an in-depth research and collection of possible distortion, blurring, obstruction, and stance in the distribution of e-books. Some e-books downloaded from the shadow library are blurry, which also leaves more assignments for readers and bring more possibilities. This further can stimulate readers' passion and attract them to participate in the creation of the text, so that readers can process, complete, enrich, and create the uncertain meaning of the book work with their personal imagination, life experience in the ever-changing reading process, and finally from their own understanding of the work, which is also a process of rewriting the text.
Due to some oversight in the manual scanning process and the poor quality of the book from informal sources, there is a lot of information that is obscured in e-book. In the work Block Out the Sign, artist Stephanie Sajuko used her finger to obscure the key information in the photograph that represents Filipino culture, making the behavior of obtaining information and consuming it from image ineffective. As in the case of the book scanned by Google, many scan workers' fingers are shut at the moment they turn the page. Their finger obscures most of the information in a page, and the reader's reading is rendered ineffective, leaving them to focus on marginal layers such as the worker's ring or manicures. Some of the books downloaded from the shadow library have trees from previous readers, which influence the order of sight in which we read them, and at the first glance we are attracted to the additional information, which may even influence our understanding of the original text. Like the artist painting another symbol over the image of Mickey Mouse, the juxtaposition of this symbol also constitutes a new understanding. Among the additional information, some are highlighted, some are fragments of the music score played with emphasis. Some are revisions and additions. Some are fierce objections. But sometimes they may be meaningless, and sometimes they allow you to see color in a black and white book.
In fact, during the whole research process, we also found some problems with our research method. Firstly, the scope of concern was too wide at the beginning, and we didn't focus on one point for in-depth research, which led to the collection of fragmented information and couldn't advance to the next stage of research very smoothly. Secondly, after collecting information, we found that not all research methods are applicable to all research. The pictures we collected were not suitable for comparative analysis, but more suitable for collection and listing. Through our study, we believe that it is important for practitioners and researchers to consider how we can break through copyright restrictions and promote the dissemination of information through a cross-media way. The designers can use different media to shift the carriers of information to break the restrictions of cultural property rights on the digital network, then promote the dissemination of information to create new visual forms in the process. Thanks for watching.